Okay, so we've taught you the basics of the radios and air traffic control communications, but now we're going to teach you how to become a radio master. Hopefully. This video is brought to you by Plain English, but more on that in just a minute. More importantly, this video is part of a series on talking to air traffic control. Videos on radio basics, situational awareness, and flying D, C, and B airspace can be found down in the description. Alright, a lot of learning to talk on the radio is an exposure thing, as in you're expected to pick it up on your flights, and with a little bit of training from your instructor, you're ready to go.
By the way, you have the comm today.
Wait, what?
Yeah, probably not. And me giving you a pep talk here on YouTube isn't going to make things much better or help you become a radio master. But you know what is? Practice. That's right. Clear your schedule and empty your wallet, because you're going to be flying until you've got this thing figured out. Hey Tiff, I need to take like the next month off and do nothing but fly.
No.
Okay. Just kidding. There are much better ways to get the practice that you need. Now, if you haven't checked out our video on air traffic control radio communication basics, you really should. It goes over how things are supposed to go and is essential for understanding the structure of communications. And it'll make this video make a whole lot more sense. So the link for that's down in the description. But let's jump back into that practicing thing. Practicing your call is really the best way to get good at them. And honestly, you really need to focus on that initial contact. Everything else is going to be follow-ups with air traffic control.
Deer Valley Ground, Cessna 75600, run-up is complete.
Any requests that you may have.
Deer Valley Tower, Cessna 75600, like to make this next one a full stop.
And confirming instructions.
600 left there at Alpha 6 and contact ground control 121.8. Have a good one.
Thank you, turning right Alpha 6. Have a great day, 600.
Now that doesn't mean that you can't practice those too, it's just that that initial contact has a lot of boxes to check. So to help out with that, using the 5 W's previously discussed, practice your initial contact with air traffic control. Just remember to practice all 3 parts of the transmission, whether you're in the air or on the ground. Most of us fly out of the same airport all the time, so you can actually anticipate what air traffic control is going to say and practice that for your runway, taxi, and arrival instructions. Now, when you're doing all this, practice your transmissions out loud, not just inside your head. When you say them out loud, it helps you articulate them better and makes your transmissions feel more natural. And this will also keep you from turning into a potato when you hit that push to talk button. Seriously, my instructor has some great stories about how that's really a brain disconnect button, and they are hilarious. Anyways, another great way to practice is to listen to the radio communications from your own flights. Reviewing the audio helped me tremendously inside of my practice, especially since every flight that I went on, I felt like I heard something new. Now, we actually have a whole video on how to record the audio from your flights, with links to everything that you need if you wanted to do it. So I'll leave a link to that down in the description if you want to check it out. But if you don't want to invest inside of that, you can always head over to liveatc.net and stream audio from different airports. Even if it's not your airport, it can still help you practice and hear the different things that controllers will say.
Person 840 caution rate turbulence number 2, follow legit, runway 7 right, clear land.
Now, after a while, you'll get your calls down and be ready to take your skills back to the flight deck. Then, with a little more time, practice, and exposure, you'll start to sound like a seasoned pilot, but not a radio master. Not yet. And I know what you're thinking. There has to be an easier way. Well, there is. This video is brought to you by Plain English, the easiest way to take control of the comms. Man, I should have just led with that. Plain English takes all that practice that we were just talking about and wraps it up into a neat little package that you can use on your phone, tablet, or even computer using their aviation radio simulator. And it's not just a repetitive memorization either. It really teaches you how to work the radios for all stages of flight in the air and on the ground. It does this by giving you a scenario and the information you need to make a call. Then you tap the mic, make a call, tap the mic again, and bam! It gives you instant feedback. Looks like I got 100%. But if you didn't, AirSim has this little feedback button that'll tell you what you missed. Better yet, they give you this question mark to let you know what the information they're looking for actually was and what's expected in that request. Now, what's really cool about it is how it's broken up into sections. Along the bottom here, we have a trainer, radio basics, VFR calls, instrument calls, and a fly button that you can practice calls for custom flights. Then, in each section, you can choose what category you want to work on and get started on the lessons, each with progress and proficiency information that help you know what you've mastered and what you need to work on. Like I said before, it's not repetitive memorization either. Like, if you didn't score well and needed to redo a lesson, the type of the call would still be the same, but the information changes, essentially forcing you to learn the ins and outs of communicating over the radio. Now that's just a surface level overview of what it does. It also helps you with non-towered fields, picking up flight following, handoffs, understanding METAR reports, and more. But let's say you don't know where to start, or you just want to dig in real quick and get good at the radios. Well, the fastest way to do it is to use their new training feature. It takes all the lessons and structures them in a progressive way to help you learn the radios. After a few lessons, you'll do a stage check without any aids before you can move on to the next section, almost like you're training at a real flight school. Guys, I can't say enough good things about this method of learning. It really is a powerful tool. So I've left a link down in the description for more information and an affiliate code to help you guys out if you want to get a subscription. Okay, I get it. This is starting to sound like an infomercial for some miracle product.
Call now, operators are standing by.
Let me level with you guys real quick. This really works, or I wouldn't be making this video. I'm digging into my instrument rating right now and will absolutely be using this to help me with my radio work. It is so much better doing it here on the couch where there's no pressure or plane to fly, so I can actually focus. Plus, it's better than anything that I could come up with to practice on my own. There's only so many radio calls that I can make where I fly, and this really helps me for any scenario. Alright, that's enough about plain English. Let's round out this video with a few ways to help you guys become a radio master. Trust me, these 5 things will make you sound like you know what you're doing. Phraseology. Aviation has its own lingo. Using certain phrases or terms when appropriate speeds up communications and makes you sound like you know what you're doing. Like, if air traffic control gives you information that doesn't need to be confirmed, you can just say, "Roger," which means, "I received all of your last transmission." Act professional. A few years ago, it was a thing to meow on the radio. Don't do weird things just because you think that they're funny, especially in busy airspace where safety is key. Take it from Brian Turner here from Just Plain Silly.
Quick public service announcement. If you're barking and meowing into the radio, you're a moron?
Well said, Brian. Don't talk fast. Talking fast doesn't make you sound cool or like a professional. It just makes it harder to understand you, which leads to you having to repeat yourself and taking up more of the controller's time and everyone else's. Be concise. Stick to the script and try to use as few words as possible. This helps you take up less of the controller's time. Also, avoid words like 2 and 4 in front of important numbers because they sound like 2 and 4. Use one transmission. This is a big one. If you miss something, like you forgot to tell air traffic control what ATC report you have, don't key up the mic and just add it. All the information you give has to be done in one transmission. So just say the whole thing over again because they're just going to tell you to do that again anyways. Alright guys, those are some great tips to help you sound like a radio master. If you have any other tips you think could help others, post them down in the comments, and I'll be pinning some of the best ones. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video, and you know what helps us the most? Engagement. So throw this video a like, leave us a comment, share it, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos over on our channel page. It all helps YouTube know that what we did is something great. Other ways that you can help support us can be found down in the description, and as always, share aviation wherever you can, and we'll see you in the next one.